Happy Monday, Soul Tribe. It is Intuitive Energy Guide, Clairvoyant and Source Energy Channel. Kathy Weiss here. Welcome to your weekly energy reading for the week of not December, almost December, the week of November 25th through December 1st, 2019. Remember, guys, if you end up catching this video at some point in the future that is beyond November 25th, through December 1st, it's all good. Stick with it. There will be info in here that you want or need to hear. Before we dive way too far in, I got my hey, little bit of adult language coming down at you today. Legit, I think there's one adult word in today's channeled message, but if you have sensitive ears in your vicinity and you would feel more comfortable popping in your earbuds or something like that, it's a good idea to do that. You've got a moment or two before we get there, okay? So guys, oh my goodness, I feel like I have been talking about the end of November for months now, and it started back in June, where we were in this huge collective energy of change, and there was some highs and lows associated with that. And as we started to wrap up that whole section, there was a little bit of aha moment in there for each of us, and that was spread out over about 2 or 3 weeks. And the aha moment for us was a little bit different. For some of us, it was sort of an understanding of who we are on a deeper level. For some of us, it was more of an aha of understanding what all that change was about and how it was meant to come into our lives, or why it came into our lives. And now all of that is done, and it's sort of yay, high five about it, because we don't have to talk about it anymore. It's over. But we're in a new space, and this new space energetically is really tender. It's sort of raw and vulnerable, like when you had say you cut yourself and the skin around it is pink and inflamed and tender, and it's going to heal and it's going to feel normal again, but right now it's you don't really want to touch that. Ooh, it's kind of a little bit too new. The skin is too fresh. It needs time to cover and heal and be in a place where it can be exposed to touch to other people. So that's where we are energetically and emotionally. And it's a really interesting time because in the United States, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, which is a pretty big and highly celebrated national holiday with lots of interaction with family and friends and people wanting to know what's up with you, what's been going on. Hey, Crystal, yeah, to all those things, right? And there's a hang in, because there's a little bit there's the cherry on top is about to come. But so whether you're in the US or somewhere else, we're all moving into the holiday season where there's going to be more gatherings and interactions and people wanting to know what's going on. How are you? What's new? And today's channeled message is really all about that energy and that tenderness and that vulnerability that we're all in. And we're probably all going to be in that tender, vulnerable state. I paused so I could hear. It was 3 or 4 months. So we're looking at December, January, February, March. We're going to be in this tender state for about 4 months, which is fine. In the grand scheme of things, that's a tiny little blip. But we have some guidance for in our 2019 channeled messages book. Holy moly, you guys, I got to get 2020 happening here pretty soon. Crazy town. But anyway, let's hear the channeled message about this time that we're in as far as that tender vulnerability. And as I'm going along, if you have questions or comments, or you just want to give me some hearts or thumbs up, I wish they gave stars, because I'm give me some stars, something just to let me know that you're with me, whether you're watching live or later. Helps me to know how well the messages are landing, and that as a manifesting generator, which is just a fancy word of or fancy way of saying I channel messages in response to your needs. So I don't channel messages just because like I think of something. If there's something you need, and in response, I channel. Oh, thank you, Denise. You gave me stars. High five, sister. I'm gonna like heart you right back. I channel messages in response. So when you have questions or comments during the channeled message part, I channel in response to you, just so you know that. But let's get into the tender transition. It says, you are new, better, more resolved. And resolved as in brought into focus. Like there is a new, higher focus about you. You are raw, unrefined, and tender. Bathe in the gentleness of your being. Allow yourself to crystallize into being. You want to share and shout it from the rooftops. You want to heal and be healed. Wait, resolve, absorb, become firm. Then you tell, then you share, but not now. Now, this newness is just for you. Sit in wonder, awe, and gladness. There will be time for openness, but this is not it. Enjoy that simplicity for now. You are too tender to bear the cruelty or insults of others, the misunderstandings or misinterpretations. Hang on, I flipped 2 pages. The misunderstandings or misinterpretations that might arise from you telling too soon. Like a thumbnail broken too low or too painful, wait for it, for yourself and your soul to heal and regrow, reform into fullness, safety, and security. Then, my love, shout it from the fucking rooftops. This message is complete and we love you. Amen. Okay, guys, I got so full of emotion, but I was hearing to not interrupt the message as it was being delivered. But when I was saying that it's you're too tender to bear the cruelty or insults of others, the misunderstandings or misinterpretations that might arise from you telling too soon, I could feel like the literal pain that many of us would experience if we were, especially during this holiday season. Thank you, Denise. If we were to share this newness about ourselves too soon, people aren't going to get it because we're not fully resolved in it, right? It's like we're still sort of hardening and solidifying the newness about ourselves. And when we share it too soon, we may not have the words or the energy or the conviction quite yet to explain and defend it in a way where others' interpretations aren't painful. And I could like literally feel the pain that some of us would experience if we started talking about this stuff too soon. And if you're just popping in about midway through, I just finished the channeled message, so make sure you go back and hear that part so that this part makes sense for you. Yeah, and it felt really strong, like that like that broken thumbnail analogy. Like it's painful at first if you poke at it. So we just want some time. But I promise you this, and this was a deep part of the message too that I could feel as I was speaking it. Around March, maybe a couple of us late February, some of us, maybe it's going to trickle into April, but really right around March of 2020, you can tell everybody, you can like scream it, shout it, whatever. Right now, it's yours. There may be 1 or 2 people in your closest zone you want to share with, but even then, you don't have to. And you're really advised that there's nothing wrong in today's social media type society where we share a lot. You don't have to. And as a matter of fact, you're being guided not to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel pressure or obligation to share something just because we have the capacity to, right? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I use that analogy in yoga a lot, you guys. I've been teaching yoga for 12 years, 13 years. Been practicing yoga for like 23, so I don't know, whatever the math is on that. But what I say a lot of times when I'm teaching is just because you can do a pose doesn't mean you always should. There are lots of reasons to not do certain yoga poses. There are lots of reasons right now why just because you can share this newness of yourself, it doesn't mean you should, and that's okay, and it's right, and the timing will present itself. Let's wrap this one up with an oracle card from Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. And I chose this deck because the energy of it is really soft and loving and gentle. I'm dropping my cards. Really soft and loving and gentle. And I'm in this like vulnerability and rawness and tenderness. I feel like choosing a deck that has a little bit of a firmer hand as far as energy goes is not really aligned with where we're at. So I'm just giving that deck a little bit of a shuffle. And I feel like I'm going to cut it also. Give me a sec. Let me do that. And then we'll find out. When I work with people live one-on-one, I give them the opportunity to select where in the deck the card is. And I'm seeing something really draw my eye right there. There's like a dark line or a dark spot. So I'm going to go with that. Oh, it's a natural break in the deck. So that's where we're going to go for us together today. This card is self-expression. And it says flexibility within structure. Take a look at this lovely woman and her open heart. It's like so, number one, receptive is a word that I hear, but also vulnerable. Anytime we expose our heart and our throat upward, we are stepping into vulnerability and the risk of being exposed. That's all I'm hearing. You can always, think about what did you hear? What did you feel? What was your initial reaction to the card? Because that's how they work. They draw information out of us. But I am going to look into the guidebook and get a little bit of info about the author's intention. And this guidebook functions a little bit differently than other guidebooks. So bear with me because it's broken up into like chapters and then numbers, so I have to find the correct chapter first and then her number. Here we go. Okay, so for self-expression and the flexibility within structure, it says, the essence of our self-expression is in alignment with our core values and is unchanging. Our daily lives must have some aspect of structure that supports us fully and doesn't change. But as we evolve and grow, we will inevitably change how we dress, speak, and act. Recycle what is outmoded for you back into the universe where someone else can use it in a new way. Tune into what is right for you and enhance what's working. Update or discard the rest. So this really is in alignment with the message where it says recycle what is outmoded for you back into the universe where someone can use it in a new way. When we have shed old energy or old ways of being, you can imagine that it is like releasing all of the crap from your system that no longer serves you, but it goes down into the earth and it becomes fertilizer for something good. And that something good may be something good that comes into your life, or it may be something good that comes into someone else's life. So in this new expression of you that is still like crystallizing, know that the old version of you wasn't wrong or wasted. Nothing about you was ever wasted. That aspect of you is gold. That aspect of you is fertilizer for what's next for you or someone else. And that will be understood and revealed as we move into the place where we are invited by our guides to start speaking about this time in like around March or April of 2020, which is like tomorrow practically, right? So enjoy um, that gentleness with yourself and enjoy the fact that you can choose to be quiet and almost like I've got a juicy secret that warms my heart and makes me happy, but I'm going to resolve it within myself before I share it for you. So have patience, dear ones, because it's coming. And FYI, I am not separate from the collective and me too. And the stuff that's crystallizing and solidifying for me, when I get the green light to share it with you, it's going to be like mind blowing. Awesome sauce for all of us. For now, if you're in the United States, I send you love and good juju for a harmonious, safe, and happy Thanksgiving. And all around the planet, just tons of love for a beautiful week. And I will see you next Monday for your weekly energy reading. Have a good one, you guys. I love you. Namaste. Bye.